If everything is working, so kind of like a caution right now on every starting of the stream. On every stream, I kind of like try to see if I have everything working in order before we kind of like jump in. See, so Twitch is actually working, and link YouTube is fine. I think I'm having a problem with LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn for some reason is not actually working. What just happened? Okay, guys, give me a second. Let me just fix my LinkedIn for some reason. It's not working. So basically, what I mean by it's not working, like the stream is not actually showing up, but it should. Because I actually stream on Twitch, YouTube, and LinkedIn at the same time. Okay, so yeah, so yesterday, not last time, yeah, just yesterday. So yesterday we kind of stopped at the profile screen, so we haven't kind of like added that, and that's what we want to kind of complete today. So hopefully we'll be able to complete that, but I doubt we can complete the whole stuff today. But let's see, we might. So guys can actually check and see if my LinkedIn is showing up, if you guys are sending it to my LinkedIn. So I will go ahead and just start working on this. Okay, so guys, if if this is your first time joining my stream, you can actually check more about of what I've been doing so far in this project. So there's a playlist where you could find the whole stuff listed there. We have gone a bit long way to within the app. We have done much. So yeah, here's the profile screen. So what we want to achieve is just have this text over there, have the structure, then have all these buttons that leads us to another screen, and then the logout button below every single one of them. That will be the structure we'll be targeting right now. So if you head over to our app, and if you kind of like head over to the profile screen that we currently have, no, okay, yeah, so there's the profile screen, and you can see we already have this text that's showing up here, and that's all we have right now for the profile screen, and we need to fix that. Let's see, is there any other stuff we need to work on? Okay, yeah, so before we start working on the screen, so let's just add a controller for this. So we call that profile controller. I think that should make sense. So rename this back profile underscore app controller. Yeah, and then we that. So add the extension, that extension, so you actually know that the file is actually that file and no other file. And with that being added, so let's go ahead and create this. So it should be a class, and the class name will be profile main controller. Okay, that should be it. Sometimes the copilot just fucks up. So we have profile main controller. So we're gonna go to extend basically extends get X controller. No, actually get and X. Yeah, so get X controller. Move this import. We don't need that import. So basically, we're going to import this one. Get package. In here, we just want to have at the moment test editing controller. Create a test editing controller. Yeah, called as name controller, not a search controller. Name controller. I'll actually make that to be final since this will be there, and we're not going to create another one except for other fields. So I think that's it for this. Always, yeah, one more thing we're missing. So we have to dispose this when we are trying to close our get controller. So we should have an override, and under override we should have, is it dispose or close? Okay, so it's called dispose, and we could just go ahead and dispose this. Yeah, name controller.dispose. I think that's all. Save that and head over to binding. So our binding folder, we're going to create a binding for this, and in here I'm going to call this profile binding. That, and inside the binding we're just going to add our controller in there. So the binding basically can actually be a way for us to do what we normally call dependency injection in software development, something like that. So we have class. So for the binding, we don't want the whole dependencies we are using to be loaded up in our app where we don't need it. So basically want it to be loaded up where we need it. So the binding, we want to use only this. We want to be able to load this this controller whenever the user enters the profile screen, and not when the whole app starts. You load everything. So call that profile main binding extends. So basically go ahead and extends binding, not binding base. So we are extending binding. Yeah, that's it. Move this, import this. That will solve the whole issue. So it needs us to override a command. So we are going to override this command called dependency. Yeah, dependencies, and inside the dependencies we are going to add should we use get lazy puts? Actually use that, or could I just basically use get puts? And that's also import our main controller as a dependency, and also do the same here. No, okay, that's what to remove. Yeah, so that will fix the issue. I think that's it. So save this. Okay, yeah, remember one before we finish, so we basically have to go and add this somewhere in our pages. So you have the profile. Inside the profile we target a binding property, which expects an array, and for inside the array we are going to pass in what we call profile main binding, and that's it. So go ahead and save this. I think everything should be restart our app. Basically just restart, make sure that everything is in order. And once we do that, so head over to the profile screen again, and now we could actually start building the whole component and the whole UI component that we need on the profile screen. So that's the next part we'll be doing right now. So let's head over, let's close this. Yeah, so this should be the profile screen. So first we don't need this save we need the save area. We don't need a container. Basically we are going to replace the container with a column, because if you look at our design is basically the column, and we have the profile underneath it. You have this underneath it, you have this, so it looks like a column one after the other. So and that's vertical column. I think the horizontal one is basically called row. So remove this, basically delete the whole code and replace that with, and inside the column we have children. Inside the children we start doing whatever we want to do. The first one we are going to be doing is to add the main heading. And for the main heading, I think we are going to use our custom field called main heading, and in there we're going to use the test we call profile screen test. Use custom test dot, okay, we need to import that. So dot profile, see, test, should we call profile screen title? Yeah, profile screen title, and the context, basically the particular context we are in at the moment. And after that, so let's save this and see what that looks like. So there we go, and that's basically this test. Yeah, we added that. But if you look at this test, we have a kind of like a bit for 7 pixels from the top, so there's a bit of a space between it and the top, but this one is basically squashed up to the top, so we don't need that. That doesn't look good. And what we need to do is basically use a size box, and inside the size box we're going to target the height property, and for the height we are going to basically use media query. So media query dot of context dot size dot height. So use the height property and we multiply that by 0.08 times 0.08, and there we go. So if you save this, I can see that it's kind of moved down to where we need it to be, and yeah, so that's looking good. But there's one more thing, so there should be a space. There should be a space between this and this, and we could add that by wrapping this inside a padding widget. So wrap this with a padding widget, and we're going to do, instead of doing padding.all, we are going to do padding.only, and we are targeting the left side, not this. So target the left side, and for the left side we're going to use custom spacing, which we created previously, using this one. Save this, and then we have the padding added at the left hand side. I think that's it. So we added the test. So the next will be to add this property. So this horizontal, so yeah, this horizontal property that have the image, the name, the email, and then this icon that looks like edit icon. So that's the stuff we need to add right now. Back in here, let me see. Okay, that should be below this. So below this we're going to add a row widget. Inside the row widget, target the children property, and inside the children, the first one will be a left. So basically I'm going to copy a code that will do that. Because most of this stuff we have been doing it previously in our previous screen, so there's no need of recreating the whole stuff from the beginning again. It doesn't make sense. So we have this rect. So if you're thinking about what this do in React, so basically clip rect, we basically kind of like clip your image to be in a circular form, which you guys are going to see right now. We are using this package called cached network. You have to import that. Imports image placeholder. So basically this is not something new. We have been doing this previously in different on different episodes we have been creating. So here we have this property called is profile image, so we still need to fix that. And then the profile controller, we have to add our profile controller, which we created here. So this is basically our profile controller. And let's go ahead and add our profile controller. To add our profile controller, should be over here. It's called a final profile main controller, and I'm going to call that basically profile controller. That's all. Oh no, not this. So we remove this part. Basically use get dot put, and in there we just pass in. Or instead of using get dot put, we could just use get dot find and then import this. I think that's it. So go ahead and save that. And so get user, so he doesn't know what this is, so we need to add that. So the profile image, we basically over here, I'm going to use a boolean variable inside our build function. I'm going to say is profile image. So that should be equals to profile controller.profile get user. So that should be this function. No. Dot is not empty. That's all we need to add there, and we need to go and add this inside our profile controller. And if we head over to our profile controller right here, we need to access that particular get user model variable. And right here we're going to create a user model. So this is not new. If you look into when we did authentication for the app, the authentication section should be, let's see, where is that? Okay, this is it. So inside the authentication section for the controller, we made use of that. So user model, and that's what we are actually trying to do over here. So let me, where are we? So profile main controller, and the user model. So we're going to say the user model should actually be optional. We are going to make use of get accessor. So we're going to use class accessor in that. So get, so you have get set, yeah. We're going to say call that get user, and that should basically return okay, we need to import our authentication to the final authentication auth controller, which we underscore auth controller.find, and in here we're basically going to use the auth controller dot firestore user dot value. I think that would be it. Yeah, so let me see. Yeah, so this firestore value, the value, if you are actually wondering what that is, so that's coming from here. So these are auth controller class, and in there we have that firestore user created right here, and it's a type of user model which we are trying to use here. So there we go. So yeah, that's it. Save this. We could head over to the profile screen, and inside the profile screen you could see that the errors have been fixed. And also for this section, photo URL dot is not empty. Okay, dot is, yeah, it's not empty. Let's see if you're having any error here. So there's none. So go ahead and save this, and there we go. So you can see the image that we're talking about, and you can see the creeplet is basically creeping it to be rounded, and we are doing that by applying this border reduce to it. And the more you increase this or decrease it depends on if this should be full circle or square or something like that. So we try this. So basically we have this height, which is 80 by 80. Okay, also, yeah, also the image on its own is actually a circle. I think that, yeah, that's also the reason for that. But we actually see how this will work later on. We have been actually be using that on previous pages in our app, so we should just revert back to our code. So what we are doing here is that we have this image, user image, and we are checking to see if when the user registered, they added a profile picture. If they added a profile picture, go ahead and get hold of their profile picture URL and display it inside here. But for some reason, they didn't add their profile picture. So go ahead and create a dummy profile picture from this particular image that we have here, and the height should be 80 and the width should be 80. That's basically what this code is doing. Yeah, so remember this needs to all align to the left, like what we have here. Every single thing needs to align to the left. That can easily be fixed. Remember when we created our generic function, so we could make use of a generic function here. So cross axis dot align, so use centered, not centered. That should be left aligned. We are not centering everything, so left aligned, and the whole everything will be left aligned. And this needs a padding. Wrap this with a padding, and the padding should actually be the same as this. I think it would actually make sense we convert this padding to custom function. I think that would actually make sense. And in that case, we won't be defining it in everywhere. So just leave it and say edge sector only. Left. So we set that to be basically this. So you see, the space has been added. And next, let's see what else we have here. Actually, top. So the top we say 21. So how do we get that? So let's see. From this to this is 21. So that's why I'm adding 21. So say 21.0. And then the right hand side, should actually be the same with this. I think that's all for the padding section. Yeah, so you see the whole stuff being applied. Right now we need to add this test, these two tests, which is in form of a column, this on top of this. Now I'm going to copy that over because we have been doing the same stuff before, so I'm going to copy that. And there we go. So we have this. Let's see, import that. Go ahead and save this. So we have those added. So basically now we have the username and again the email. And if you look here, you see that something is off over here. The username, which is working, and we have the username, but the email, we didn't have the email here. That's because the user didn't submit an email when they were doing the registration. Yeah, so most of the times the user can register with with their social media or Apple login details or like I said, social media where you have Google, Facebook, Twitter, and Apple social login. And when they log in with that, there's possibility that you can get hold of their email to kind of like save into your database. In that case, so this email will not exist. So what I need to do is to tell the user to update your email. So this test telling the user to update their email. They don't have any email, so that's it. Also, if they don't have a name, also we could actually add this to a messenger that will tell them to update their name at the same time. So that's basically what this function is doing here. So we have this that's checking if the name is empty. So if the name is empty, so tell them to kind of like update their missing name, or else if their name is available, go ahead and show their name. And also the same thing over here, if the email is empty, go ahead and tell them to update their missing email. But if the email is available, go ahead and show the email. That's it. Next is just the last stuff to do here is just to add the icon or the image. So I will just copy that over to. So there's a icon. So the icon is here, and we use a gesture dictator on top of it. And I'm saying get.named. So if you tap on the icon, which is an image, so it basically takes us to this profile, this screen called profile/profile edit. That's what it will be taking us, so that we can actually edit our profile. And again, in there we have this image.assets. Like I said, is an image that shows. Let's save this. So this is the image, the edit button image I told you guys about, which is basically this. So this image right there, that's what we added. But we need to push this to the end. To push that, just uncomment this out. So you basically uncomment that out, save it, so it will push this to the end, thereby giving us this structure. So if you look right nicely, we are actually getting there. We have the profile, we have the image holder, we have the name, we have the email, and also we have the icon that the user can tap on. I think that's it for this section. And the next one we are going to add is basically these buttons right here. So all these buttons, so let's go ahead and add that. So for those buttons, we are going to make it a responsive, not a responsive, I'm trying to say custom widget. So since it's going to be a custom widget, that should live inside here, and we're going to name it to be profile underscore edit underscore card dot that, and inside there, so it's going to start out being a stateless widget. It doesn't need to be a stateful widget, and since it's stateless widget, we're basically going to go ahead and name it profile edit card. So profile edit card, that's the name we gave to it. You can see that didn't apply to other stuff. I think it will make sense if I just copy the code over, since I already have it created somewhere else. So there we go. We have this profile edit card, and in there we're going to import our material package to fix most of the errors we're having, and that will fix every error we're having apart from these sections. So we need to import the custom spacing, import our color, and basically import our images, and I think that's it. So basically go ahead and save this, and now we can actually use this inside here. So that should be below yeah, so below this we're going to have the profile profile edit card, and inside our profile edit card it kind of like request us to give it a name. That's the title that we are seeing here. And again, we have to kind of like tell it if it's going to show us a chevron at the front or not. And then we add an untap function inside it. And again, we have a show divider, so we are going to set that to true or false. So that's basically the parameter is needs. So let's first of all change this one, and this will basically be custom test dot coming from profile. So that we have profile button title and show chevron. We can set that to be true. And untap function, we just add a dummy function in there. And show divider, we can actually set that to be true it too. Come on. I think that's it. So go ahead and save this. Yeah, we can actually see that showing up here. Let's see, there's something else missing. Yeah, so we have the image, so we have to show an image, because if you look over here, you will see that each of these buttons has an image before them, then the name, and then the chevron, and then the underscore, not underscore, the underline under it, so basically divider under it. Let's add the image. So the image we are going to get that from custom, not custom, so that should be from brand images dot bookmark. So that should be bookmark image, and there we go. So you see the bookmark image added immediately. Yeah, so if you look here, so that's the same image that we have right here, and that is basically added inside this button. And with that, we could actually go ahead and add this again up to 3 times, I think. So that should be how many? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, 3 more times. 2, 3, 4. And this second one, they change the text to be title button 1. It's title button 2. And this will be title button 3. And this will be title button 4. And if you save this, this is basically what we are going to have. In here, we are going to basically change the image. So the image should be the next thing. So the second one, the image will be card. So payment card. I think it's called, no, what happened? Yes, card pay. Oh my goodness, so why is it saying it doesn't? Okay, I see. To solve that issue, we're going to have assets, images, add this. Okay, still saying there's an error.png at the end. Okay, something is wrong. Head over here. So edit card for the image. Okay, we have images, image. Okay, comma. For the image we're trying to add as showing this error, let's see how the image is being kind of like defined. So the image is called card image, so there's no extension at the back. So basically we are actually fixing the error, but we are not fixing it the right way. So what we need to do is to add this here, and then this png, add .png to the back, and if you save that, there we go. So the error is fixed. The next one will be the next button is basically a bare button. So we go ahead and say it's a bookmark. We're going to call this bare. So bare icon. What happened? So the bare icon. So it's still the same. I think we are going to follow the same way that we did the previous one. Okay. Save that. Okay. Looks like something is wrong. Or so this is actually going on this way, but that's not what we need it to be like. So we could actually basically say remove this, and also remove this. And if you paste what happened, okay, we remove this, save that. If you head over to our profile screen, see, so the bear icon.png, so we don't need the png at the back anymore. We don't even need this string quotes. Save that. Yeah, that's save. It actually looks off. That looks a bit off. So we need to fix this. We need to fix that. Next one we could actually work on is okay, this one. Change the image, so the image should be logout, so we call that logout icon, and that looks off too. So let's go ahead and change those. So we're going to say for the image property, let's reduce the height, basically the whole stuff, both the height and the width to be 20. I think that's looking good, except from the notification icon, which is not looking good. Let's try 10. That's not still looking good. For the height, try 30. So that will kind of mess a whole lot of stuff up. So I think that we could actually use a workaround for this. So leave everything as it was before. Save this. So leave it as it was. Let me see. So we have width of 25. Okay. Let's see. So I can actually make this to be height of 30. Width 30. And these two, I'm going to replace that with basically using Ionic. So there's a I think we can actually use feathers icon for this. Feathers icon. So feathers icon has a flutter package which could actually get most of the icon from. I'm going to say bear. So there we go. So these are bear icon. The next one will be log out. Try log out. Yeah, so we could actually use this for logouts, but we kind of want something that looks similar to what we have here. We could just change it. We could actually try Ionic. See Ionic icons. So you can just try also looking for logout button. So this is the one it gave to us, but none of them is actually closer to what we have. Let's see. So you could actually make use of either this or this. So any of them can work. And this also has a bare button. Doesn't. So it should actually have, or it doesn't have a bare button, or what was it actually called here? I think feathers icon will work in our case, so we make use of feathers icon. Before we do that, let's check out something. First, we have width is 19.4 and height is 20 pixels. So let's try width 19.4 and height is 20 pixels. No. So width is 19.4 and height is basically 20 pixels. And there we go. So this basically looks good the way we want it. We can actually apply red color to it, see how that looks. Okay, so this is what we are looking for. That's basically what we have here. What if we make this to actually be dynamic? So the height property and the width property to be dynamic. Basically we could actually change that. I think that will make sense more. So let's add a width and height property here. So we're going to say final double. So it's going to be a double. I'll call this to be width, and also final double. Call this to be height. And again we have final color, so we have dynamic color. Add that to our constructor. Basically go ahead and add that right here. So say width, no width, this should be height. Come on, height, width, and then the color property, change that, use color in there. Okay, so let me see. Save this. So this is going to throw an error that those properties are actually required. And right here, we can actually then change all this based on the parameter we could get from here. So this should be put this at the side here. So this one, the first one has a width of 15 and a height of 21. So a width of 15.0 and a height of 21.0, and the color property is basically dark color. I think, okay, not dark color. The color property is basically this. So this is the color we are using. We can find that in our color class. That should be somewhere. Let's see. So let's look for where we define all our colors. So that's app color. So inside our app color, let's look for that particular color that we want to use, and it's called bar unselected. So that's the color we need to use for it. So because they are all the same color. In here, let's go ahead and say app colors dot bar unselected for that. Next one, so this one has a width of 25 and a height of 1 pixels. How does that make sense? Okay, I'm basically selecting individual stuff. Okay, so it has a width of 28 and a height of 28. Okay, let me see. So, okay, everything should be 28. Should do the same, copy everything from here and paste that right here. So this should be 28.0, and also this should be 28.0. And next one will be this. So this should be, let's say, so we have width of 17 and a height of 22.98. So width of 17 and a height of what again? So what's the height? So the height is 22.98. 22.98. Last three is this. So we have this one, which is 19.4 and 20. So 19.4 and 20. So 20.0. Save that. I think that's it. Hopefully we won't get any errors when we start checking this out. Yeah, there we are. It's looking good except from this one. Could actually reduce the height a bit. We could just say instead of 28 for the width, set 21. Okay, let's leave it at 28. So height 22. Yeah, we just leave it at 20. Okay, I think we are good to go here. Next is basically to change this to the red color. And also change the text color. I think there's a property that can help us change that. Okay, we didn't add that, but we should be able to change the text color. Let's see where we added the text. So there we go. So these are tests. So we should have something called text color. It should be optional. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and create this property called test color. And in here, we can have final color, test color. Add that to our constructor. Save that. Okay, so we made a mistake. Yeah, so this should actually be optional if we want it. Yeah, so that will actually work, so there will be no error. And if you save that, yeah, so our app still works. And then we need to, over here, so this is the one we want to change the test color. So we target the test color, and the test color should be the same color as the icon. So save that. You can see that this has the same color as the icon, but in the main design it looks the same, but it doesn't have the divider and the chevron. So we need to remove the divider and the chevron. So to do that, we set this to be false, and also set this to be false too. So there we go. And right now let's preview everything together. So we have the profile test, have the user profile detail section, and we have the okay, and also this, okay, and this section, and last we have the logout section. Okay, I think we are good to go here. There's no other changes we need to make here, except that we need to start connecting this to work. So we want, in a way, when you tap on this, it should actually log the user out, and we can actually fix that. And we start by going straight to the authentication part. So our authentication controller, scroll down, so we have the sign out. Okay, the sign out section, this is it. Once we want to sign out, we want to do a lot of stuff. So we want to actually sign the user out from okay, Firebase or sign out. Okay, that's the one we're using. I want to also disconnect the user from presence system. Okay, that's actually working fine. We can copy this code, and then in here, since we actually have access to auth controller in our profile main controller, which should be here, we have access to the auth controller. Just leave it that way. So inside our profile screen, so the last button is the one that will log us out. So we need to go in here in the function section. Now have the auth, our profile controller dot auth controller dot, call the function that we need on it, and that's it. So if you save this, so save this right now, and let's try signing a user out for it. So when you tap on this, let's see. So something is wrong. So it's not registering the tab and the sign out functionality, which should actually be called. Well, that's not been called. Let's try something here first. So I will say print sign out. So let's see if the button is actually registering any tap gesture. So I tap on this, so it's not registering any tap gesture. So I think that's the issue. So let's see why that's happening. But we have a function, untap function callback right here. We have a gesture dictator, and we didn't use it inside our gesture dictator. And inside here, we just need to call a untap. And now if you tap on this again, that should actually work. So you see the sign out being called, and then we can actually revert back to what we have. So if we save this and try signing a user out again, and there we go, the user is actually signed out. We need to sign the user in if we want to continue using the app. Just either skip or click on the next button, or just skip. It takes you to the sign in. For the sign in, let's see what we actually use to register the user. So the user used okay, there's a whole lot of stuff here. I think it should be, which one is it again? So let's see which one is our user. So the one with 16YIX, so that should be somewhere here. See if that's the user we are using. So 16Y, okay, that's it. So basically the user signed it with Gmail, so just sign in with Gmail. Yeah, so that should actually sign. Yeah, so we got signed in. That's it. Go straight to the profile screen. So here's our profile screen, and here's this logout button which we tested and is working, so we don't need to log ourselves out again. Let's see what else we need to fix. So for the first button, that should actually take us to the screen, a new screen that we are going to create right now. And the screen we are going to call the screen the screen is basically going to be called, what's it called, edit profile. Yeah, so edit profile, so that will be the name of the screen. We're going to create it in here called edit underscore profile underscore screen dot, and in there going to have a stateful, okay, yeah, a stateful widget. I'm going to call the stateful widget to be edit profile screen. I think that's it. And delete all this, we don't need this. We need to import only material package. That's what we need, and that will fix most of the errors. And then in here, why did we get animation controller here? I didn't ask for this. It provided animation controller, which we didn't ask for. So basically remove this, and also I think you just go ahead and remove all this stuff. Yeah, we are left with the build function. So the build function will just return a dummy scaffold and some stuff like that. So inside the scaffold we have a safe area, so the body should be a safe area. And inside the safe area, the child property is going to be a center widget, and inside the center widget we are going to have a test, and that's it. Basically save this, and the safe area will have a background color, and the background color will be getting from theme.of_context dot scaffold background color. And we do the same for the profile screen. We should have a background color. That will make it because we are using different themes, so that will actually look good. So I have theme.of_context scaffold, And if you want to try this out, so you can actually toggle this. You see, so that's it. So we toggled it to give us a dark mode. I think there's an issue with our dark mode here. Okay, I see. So if it's dark, when we're in dark mode, it should actually be white. And the test, okay, so this two tests is working fine. But this test right here is actually not working the way we want them to work. And this icon should also be dark color, except this one, and also this should also except this one. Okay, I see. Okay, do we have to work on this now, or we just work on other ones and then come back and finish this up? Okay, we should just think it makes sense. We just tackle it. So first of all, we head over to the edit profile edit card, and in there we have the test. Let me turn on to it. Yeah, so we're able to fix that one. So in that case, if it's, let's toggle this again. So yeah, so if it's white, if it's light mode, it becomes black, and when it is in dark mode, and it becomes white, which we basically have here. What this is showing us, that it should be white in color. Let's see. Okay, the icons are also white in color, and so basically, okay, toggle it back. Okay, so toggle it again. So I think we can actually do that. For the icon, we have to where's it again? So for the icons, which we have here, we could say let's see. So for the feathers icon, so you can use theme dot of context, not primary color. Make use of icon theme dot color. Okay, if you make use of icon theme dot color, okay, every single one of them will take the same color. Also, okay, yeah, white, and then this should actually take the same color, but depending on if we are inside a dark mode or light mode. Let's see. So how do we solve that particular problem? and this also should take TM icon color. So we could actually pass an icon color to the chevron. So the whole chevron, where is it? Or the divider. So that one in particular, let's see, where is it? So we need, okay, the send icon is one we are calling chevron. Passing the team dot of context dot icon team dot color. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Next, so that looks the same. But right now the issue we are having, so this one also should be team icon. You can actually do that to the profile screen itself. In the profile screen, we target the image which we have here. Let's see. We have a row widget, we have it correct. Inside the column, we have this test. Okay. After the column, we have, okay. So this, we should change the color. Actually, use the color property here. Use team, not team mode. Wait a second. So I can actually use the, but this is not what we want. So copy this because this will come in handy for us. But right now, since we want to leave this to basically change depending on the IM team, we don't want to dynamically change the color, so we just use scaffold background, not scaffold background. That should be icon team. So icon team dot color, save that, and there we go. So if you compare this right now, so you have, yeah, and this except this. So there's a section we have to work on. We could say head over here. I'm going to paste some code here, comment it out, right inside our profile edit card. So for the not this, yeah, so for the icon, we could actually pass in the color property that we are using. Okay, pass that in, so that's going to cause some issues. We have to head over here for the color properties. There we go. Pass this. First unwrap that, and also do the same for this color. First unwrap it, and also do the same for this. Okay, so we are left with the last one. So basically we still take out the same feature. So if you go back and simulate this toggle back, so it's still working, so we don't have any issues. So if you toggle to light mode again, okay, yeah, so we need to fix this. So this should be, when you toggle to the light mode, this should remain white on the light mode, but on the dark mode it should remain red color. So that's what we need to work on. So the test color for this, then we could make use of the previous code we copied, if you guys remember, which is this code. We could just copy that out again. Profile screen. Okay, instead of profile screen, we are going to basically use that in here. So I'm going to say if theme.dark mode, if it's dark mode, basically go ahead and use okay, we could actually say if it's dark mode, if it's true, go ahead and use theme, this theme color, see test color. Okay, we didn't add a test color here. So I could actually say app colors, not meant to red. Say it should be pure white, and then if not, I'm just trying to test something out here. It should be dark color. Save that, and there we go. So if you kind of like, so night now is in dark color, is in dark mode, so it's black. So let's revert back to toggle this. So if you toggle this back again, we start our app, just trying to make sure what we are so think, so still dark color. So if you go back, toggle this to start this, come on, go back here. So it's still dark, so this is not actually working. Since I want this to dynamically change from red to this, so let's see if there's something we can actually change in our theme. So for our theme, we basically use something like so let me see. So instead of theme, so mental health theme, let's see if there's something we could change here. Not a primary color, not a card color, not a theme icon color, background navigation, background color, selected item color, that's not that. So test theme colors. Come on. Button theme. Canvas color. Not that. Splash color, not this. Hints color, not. Hints color. Hints color, error color. So we don't want to touch the hints color or something like that. Change that. So I'm checking off primary test color. Test team. So that's basically on test team. Okay, test team. And we have test team again. Primary test color. we can actually make use of this one and change the whole stuff for this. Say accent testing. For the accent testing, we say thinking. Guys, let's check this out. Okay. Okay, so guys, we can actually check this and see how this works. So let's try implementing this over here in our profile screen. So our profile screen up at the top over here. Let's try that. This will be reviewed. So I'm going to say boolean is this. Change the print here. Is dark mode. Save this. Let's try. So his dark mode is true. Let's toggle this again. So his dark mode is false. So basically this is now our helper. So thanks to this, would it make sense we actually convert this to a reusable utility function? Let's just keep it here for now. So if it's true, it's dark mode, else is false. So use that. So you could say if the current screen is dark mode, so if dark mode is true, go ahead and show the text in white color, else go ahead and show the text in red color, which we'll be doing here. Save that. Okay, and then go ahead and toggle this again, and there we go. So that's working fine. That's why you always need to talk with Stack Overflow whenever you have an issue, or just look towards Stack Overflow for help. So let's look at what we have so far. So we have the profile text changing yeah, correctly, so it's matching. We have the yeah. So this one, the email test, I think the color is a bit off. Let me see. The color we are using is EBF5. So EBF5, that should be for the color we are using for yeah, for the test. Yes, for the, not the name, so the email test. So let's go to our color. Okay, that shouldn't be the right color we should be using. So we should be using this particular one called EBFB. Let me see before I just say something else. Okay, yeah, this one. So I'm not the unselected one. So if you go back and replace this, do we need to replace that? Okay, yeah, basically replace this. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So it looks a bit brighter. Also this kind of like the color is off. So we are trying just to get everything to actually look good. So this is a different color. Okay, this is the first button, and this is the second button, and this is the third button. And in here we're applying the color property theme.icon.color. Okay, we could just leave it that way, or let's see. Okay, let's try this. Let's just remove this for now, uncomment this out for now, and in there we could just say icon, type into icons property dot spell we have Behance icon in our app. So inside material icon, let's shake and see if there's an icon that represents the bear icon for us. So there is. So this one, let me see. Okay, it's called notification, but okay, yeah, notification. So we can just copy that. So notification, and in here we go back again and try this out. So let's say icons dot notification. Okay, let's use the notifications outline. So basically use that. Let's go try that. So that's kind of giving us the same vibe and the same color property as the rest that we have here. Try another one. So I'm just trying something else. We use that later on. Say icons dot p bookmark. See bookmark outline. Okay, and last we should be, let's see if there's a logout icon. So there's a logout icon. Okay, I should have a logout icon dot outline. So save all this. We could see these whole icons that we have here. We could use that in place of most of these icons so that we could have a uniform colors for the icons. I think that would make sense. head over here to our edit profile. So there's an edit profile card. So what I suggest we do is just uncomment this out at the moment, and then we could use the if statement here, and then use our icon, and in here we have every single one of them will be some property. Let's say give it a property of, okay, we could just use the height property to size it, and also the color property for it. Okay, yeah, that's it, the color property for it. And next, the icon. So you have a property here, we're going to call that property icons. So that will be this, and in here we're going to define that, say final icon data, we call it icons. So just add it here. We make it optional. There we go. So we could actually say if image is not equals to null, add this, create an image file, and else we have icon else. So the S section, we could actually do another one. We could just say icons not equals to null. If that is true, add this, then else add an empty container. So right now the image is now empty, so that's why we're seeing an image there. Okay, I think we are good to go. So head over here and let's start changing this. So we could just say the first one should be a bookmark icon. So use a bookmark icon on the first one, and we remove the image property. So I could set that to be null, and then add the icon property on it. No, so that should be icons dot, yeah, save that, and there we go. So that works. So we can see the bookmark icon being added there. And also we do the same for other ones. Basically remove, okay, just leave this, and then basically remove the image property and tackle the and use icon property in place of every one of them. And we're going to say icons dot, is that payments? Okay, that should be for payments. Yeah, so there we go. And the next one we should be icons dot notification. So notification outline, let's copy the whole stuff. Come on. Do that. So basically comment this out, not uncomment it out, comment this out. Yeah, comment it this out. So say icons. Okay, save that, and there we go. No, not that. So we made a mistake. So not that. So this should be the notification one. So target icons. Okay, notification outlined, and this will basically be logout outlined for this one. So if you save all this, we are good to go. So basically go ahead and delete this and save that. Okay, everything is working. So if you check this out again, so there are some changes we need to make. The first one will be there should be a space between this and this. and the space should be around 16 pixels. So just jump in here into our profile edit card. So the space between the text or statement, not or, so that's not or. So why? So or we say icons is not equals to no. If any of that is true, just add the space of 16 pixels that we're looking for, which is this 16.0, and also 0 else, then it should be 0.0. There we go. So test this out again. So let's see. Um, mm, 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 mm. Okay. So if you look at this, I think there's something that's missing. The icons are too small compared to the icons we have here. We could just fix that one by basically saying we don't need the width property. Just remove the width property. Okay, that's required, but that's causing an issue. So since we basically don't need it much, we could actually make that to be optional and then remove this required property here on it. So I think hopefully there's no error. Okay, so right now over here we could just remove the width property and we don't have that issue. Remove this, and finally remove this. Set that back up again. What we want to do is basically reduce the height or increase the height, I mean to say. So let's try 24 pixels. Let's try 30 and move down from there. I think that should be okay. That's too big, so let's try 25. I think 25 is okay, so every single one of them should be 25. That would make sense. So change this to 25.0. okay, change this 25.0 and also change this to 25.0. Save that. Yeah, so let's look at this again. So compare both of them. I think we are good to go. All looking fine. Okay, circle, rounded, and okay. Okay, the logout test should actually say logout, not together. So you have a space between the log and out. So just trying to make sure that we are actually on both sides for dark mode and light mode that we included in our app. And I think there's nothing else to change at the moment. I think everything is good. We are good to go. That's it. So basically toggle this back to the light mode again. I think it's working. So let's go back to the light mode. So the light mode is this. So not this. Wait a moment. Okay, yeah, that should be this screen. Okay, but there's an issue. We can't even see this test anymore. So the test is basically hidden and we can't see it. So we still have to do the same if statement we are using. Sorry guys, I just had to reply a message. So based on the profile edit card, not the profile edit card, profile screen, and we still have to do the same stuff we use here for it. So we have to check to see if you're in dark mode. So if you're in dark mode, we use see. So yeah, if you're in dark mode, we basically use this. If dark mode is true, use this. Else use app colors. Okay, yeah, that's it. So it's updating. So let's check this back again. So toggle appearance. There we go. Toggle that back on again. Okay, so that's working. Yeah, so let's add this property. So when you tap on this, it should actually take us to edit screen, which we have right here. But we haven't added this to our route section, so we have to add to our route section. We see edit card, profile screen. So it's not a route, so we want to create a new route here, and we're going to call that profile edit. Underscore edit. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah. So inside our profile page, we're going to have a children property. Inside the children, we're going to have profile edit. The route will be profile edit, and the screen will be profile edit screen. Is we could test this out. So tap on this. Okay, should take us to /profile edit. tap on this again. Yeah, so that's working. So it should take us to profile edit screen. Actually go back to the previous screen, and tapping on this takes us to profile edit screen. And here we could just implement the profile edit features that can actually help us to edit through the stuff we have done. So right here, so that's what I'm saying. So this one, so we have these whole layouts where you have a text, image, um, text editing fields with pre-filled text inside it, and also you have the save button and the cancel button inside it too. Yeah, let's go ahead and implement that. So right, so so the first one we have, so let's remove the center widget. We don't need it. We need a column. So we're going to use a column, and inside, okay, we have save fader. Inside save fader, we use a column, and the column should have children. Inside the children, so we, before that, let's wrap this with a single child scroll view. There we go. And in here, the first one will be a row widget, and I'm going to copy that in to speed up the development. So let me see. Save this, and there we go. So you see the top part have a spacing between the top and this one, so there should be a big spacing here like what we have here. So I'm going to add that spacing. I think that's too much. Let me see. Okay, shouldn't be that far. Because of that, let's reduce this to 2. Okay, I think that's okay. Next will be, okay, we have a row widget. But let's try this. Toggle this. Okay, that's working. So if you look at the dark mode, yeah, so that's basically what we need. So the dark mode is working fine. So it back. Okay, let me see. Okay, after that we need to add this section. So I'm going to copy that too. So I think I already have that. And inside the row widget, so that should be outside the row widget. So add the image. Remember, we already been doing this multiple times, so there's no need of going through this, how to do this again. So if you have been following along through the episode, you see be implementing something like this. So this is basically a clip image clip the image. Let's import our colors, and there we go. Next will be, let's see, size box from, okay, the next will be the text field. Just copy that out too. Just basically import the input text field, which we have already, so just basically import that. And again, it needs something called email so we have profile. Okay, we need to add that. Let's head over. So set our profile screen. We can just copy this controller and still add that to the edit profile page or screen. Go ahead and import this. Go ahead and import this one. Just save them. And next let's see. Okay, import this. And email controller, we didn't add it, so we need to add that in our, that should be inside our profile main controller. Dispose that. Remember to dispose controllers and other stuff you're not using. So in here, see, yeah, so there we go. So you can actually see the text editing field and the email text, but that's looking off from what we need. So all we need to do is just use clocks as its alignment, and again use a generic function which is left aligned. It will just left align this, and if you open this back up and look through it, you see the name. Okay, it should be name before email, but here we have email, and you can see the text editing field that we added. So there we go. And then the email test, which is the label test showing up here. But if you tap over this doesn't close, so there's a remedy to that. So how to fix that? Wrap this rejection dictator, and in there we're going to target the untap function, and inside the untap function we're going to call a function called hide keyboard and pass in the context, which is the current screen that we are into. Let's see. So if you open this, close, open, close. So that's the functionality that we need there. After that, so basically the next one we are going to add is the name. So the name field, is, so add this. So this should be the name field. See. Okay, let's fix some issues here. So we have name editing controller. So inside our name controller, so we have a name controller. Use that in place of this. Save. Okay, there we go. Last but not the least that we need to add here is the email field. So I'll go ahead and copy that over to, no, not the email field, the phone field. So I'll just copy that over. So there we go. This should be phone editing controller or just phone controller, and inside here just create that, not password controller, just got the phone editing controller, and in here just dispose it, save this, and that will fix the issue right here. Next is just to add this package, so it's called lib phone number. So let's add that package. So I'm just trying to get hold of the package name. So this is the package. Let's open our browser. So it's called flutter lib phone number. So basically it helps you to process numbers depending on the location or something like that. So country code, all those stuff. So instead of you building your own utility function to do this, you just use this package and it will help you to format your phone depending on the country code and location of the user. So that's what we are trying to do here. So basically right here, let's add that. So just use flutter for add. Okay, so once it's added, let's fix this. So import this. Okay, yeah, so that's fixed. But it's requesting for all these variables, and we need to add that to so I'm going to copy something over, add it here. So basically this is for settings for the lib phone, the flutter lib phone package that we're using. So it requires this global phone type. So we are saying phone type is mobile, not landline. We are using, it says use international or national phone format. So we want to put it in the form of international phone format. So you need to define the country and its detail. So currently I'm living in United Arab Emirates, so I need to define the country code, which is AE, phone code, which is this, phone number for national is this form, for international is this form, and for fixed. So there's a whole lot of stuff you need to kind of like add there. So after defining that, so I say input contains country code, I set that to true, and then we use all those variables inside here. And you see this is no longer showing an error because this is where we are using everything that we just defined and created above. So once that is done, no, there's something else we need to do. So we need to call this. So it's a final init function. Init function is equals to flutter dot init, not initialize, but that will be dot init. So that should be it. Save that. Okay, yeah. So we have our name field, email field, phone number field. If you look at the design we have, that's taking shape, but there's something we are missing. So we need to add the change password button, which is also gotten from this stuff we use it. So we're basically going to use this and remove the divider and the chevron, and we have something like this. So and I could just save that, and yes, that should be the last one we have here. Import that. what color did we use for the profile screen? Okay, we could just set the color to be null. But since it's required, if you pass null to it, that will actually throw an error. So that will actually throw an error. So we can actually make the color property and height property to be optional. So the height and the color property both should actually be optional. And then where's the height? Okay, so if we head back here, okay, I think we have an issue. So the issue is because we made it optional, but we actually said it should be required in the constructor. So we need to fix this, remove the required property from the constructor, and then that should be able to work here. So we should be able to show that with no error. So we are no longer encountering any error at the moment, so that should be able to show. And now we have change button chevron at the right hand side, but we don't want any chevron, so we should say set all this to be false, set this to be false too. Let me see. Okay, we need the chevron and other stuff, so set it to be true. Okay. So I think that is okay. If you tap on this, it should take you to change password screen, which we're going to implement later on. But for now, I think we are good to go here. Remaining to add these two buttons, the save and the cancel button. But if you look through into our app, there's a place we did something like that. So instead of creating that from the beginning, you could actually get it from here. So we did something similar right here. I think there's other place we did something similar. So if you go straight down, okay, down, okay, so figured it out. So that should be here, and that's the appointment screen, right? So we need to go to appointment. Okay, is it consultational appointment screen? Let me see. Okay, let's try this. Head over to appointment screen. So appointment screen should be this. So you have two buttons, is it? No. I don't think this is it, so let's check this out. So consultation. So sign consultation. Okay, it's not this. So basically it should be admission screen. Okay, it's not okay, I see. We are the one messing all this up, so it should basically be in consultation detail screen. So inside our consultation detail screen, that's what we should be able to see there, where we have the custom button. Okay, so this is what we need to copy out. So we need to copy this. Okay, there's actually two of them. this one and this one. So we could just copy from here and stop here. Just copy that and then head over to our profile edit screen. Okay, and add that below here. So move over, get back to our profile page and tap on this. Import this. Also import this. Fix this up. Okay, add this, do the same here, fix this up and add this. Okay, so there we go. That's the two buttons we are looking for, which if you look at the design we have here, okay, so go. So the edit, we have this button which has the name save, that's the text, and this says cancel. So save and cancel. And how do we do this right now? So we need to change the text property. So to change the text, we have to go straight to our custom text and we have to enter here. Let's say profile edit phone number says this. So profile edit btn test. So btn test, the first one should say save. So the second one should say cancel. Yeah, and we basically use this inside our app here. So this is the first button and this is the second button. Got that too, save that. I can actually see that being applied. Last but not the least is just to send. Okay, so this particular button should be that's no border, so it doesn't have any border. Since that doesn't have any border, what do we need to do? So could remove the border color, set that to be theme dot of context scaffold color. There we go. Yeah, the text color here, let me see. Okay, it should be white in color, so that's okay. Next is to use a sized box. So the height property, for the height property, we want to set this all the way to here is around 144 pixels. That's too much. So one way to do that is basically make use of a media query dot of context dot size dot height and multiply that by 0.5 to push this down. Keep on multiplying that until we get to a place that we want. So you just say 6, no, let's go multiply that by 1. What about multiplying that by 2? Okay, that's too much. I think 1.3. Okay, that should be okay for us. If you look at, see what else we need to do. Okay. So the divider for this is kind of like centered a bit. So it has left margin and right margin. But this one doesn't have left margin. It only has the left, it doesn't have the right margin. So you need to add that to this one here, so everything will be in the same uniform layout and style. So what we need to do is head over to this edit profile card, so show divider, and so the show divider, we need to edit some stuff in there. So there's the edit profile card, and here's the divider that we are looking for. Where is it? So here's the divider, and the divider has a left and top, right? But what if we want to add the right one? So we should have a property that will help us to kind of like conditionally add that. So if show is show so just say it's right padding. If it's true, go ahead and add. Okay, yeah, go ahead and do this. But if it's false, leave it at 0.0. And if you add this inside our constructor, but first of all declare it here. So that should be a boolean variable, which should actually be optional to start out. And there we go. Basically add this to the constructor. Okay, save this, then head over to our edit profile screen. So add a property here, so call that is right pad. We set that to false. No, okay, we need to set that to true. So it's right pad, set that to true. Okay, something is wrong. It's right pad, set that to true. If you set that to true, should actually add the padding we are looking for. Okay, if it's not, no. And okay, so there we go. So we added the right padding. So you have the left and the right padding to it, which kind of like keeps this in uniform, like I said, like the designer or the same at the moment. And we have the save and cancel button. Currently right now we don't have a way to actually save this. If we can actually type into the field, but we can't save it at the moment, which we'll be implementing on how to actually save. So let's try this one. So you have plus 971k. I can see the numbers being formatted, and this is giving us an error that this is not an email. So we need to add a correct email. So let's kind of add a dummy stuff there. I'm not a politician, so I don't need to add democrats there. So there should be demo at gmail.com. I think that's it. I think that's all we need for now. So we need this, but we need to work in a way to actually save this to the user's database. So we need to save the user's data to the database and also kind of like sync it with Firebase. To do that, we need to add a package called Hive. So we'll be using Hive for all this stuff. So let's head over to I'm going to show you guys. So we are going to open this up, head over to our browser. I think last time I kind of showed you guys the package, so just close this. We don't need this. Close this. Close this. Yeah, so there's the package we'll be using. So we're using Hive as our back end. So remember, currently we already have a back end that's working, which we are using Firebase. But for me, it doesn't make sense that we can like use Firebase for every single thing in our app. So there are some things that needs Firebase, there are some things that doesn't need Firebase. So in this case, it doesn't actually need Firebase, but it some ways needs Firebase. So let me explain. So let's say this user, so we don't want whenever the user enters this screen, then we call Firebase and get the whole data populate or added here. The only thing we want to do is that we really want in a way that when the user enters here, we want to get the data from the database, the local database that we have, and populate the details with it. Then sync these details to Firebase so that when the user kind of moves over to a new phone, let's say the user is using a new phone, so they can actually get the data from the Firebase being added there and then sync with their local database. So that's the kind of like scenario we'll be using. Well, you guys are going to see that in more details when we start working on it. So we'll be using this as our local database, and head over here and add, say, flutter pub add hive, and also we have to add hive flutter. So these two, we are done. Save that. So we have this. And the next two package we need to add is Hive generator and build runner. Let's go ahead and clear this off. So okay, footer pub add or -- dev. So we want to add this under dev dependency. So Hive generator and build runner. Let's copy that. Okay. So let's start making use of this. And first thing we need to do is to head over to our articles controller, which is main controller right here. And we need to register our Hive adapter, and also okay, now we don't need to do Hive init here. So where we need to do our Hive init, so I think it will be much better if we do it in the main function, main.dat. So in here we could just call say wait hive.init flutter, import this, just import this one with Okay, so delete this one. So that's all we need to do here. Once that is done, what we need is to move over to our application main controller, and we could just say onReady, on init or onReady. We could just call Hive. Let's say Hive dot register. Okay, but we need to import this. Let's see. So are we getting this error? Wait. So try this. We tried Hive adapter. We tried Hive flutter. So that's an issue. Stop our app from running and restart this again. Okay, we already almost past our streaming time, guys. This I didn't know I've streamed for 2 hours straight. That's quite long. So let's just face this up, and then we'll be calling it a day here. Because I streamed more than the time that I usually stream, so it shouldn't be more than 2 hours, at least 2 hours. Okay, let's just get this working. Basically just get our Hive settled in our app, just implement that. Not just we are not going to go ahead and add the functionality for this, just add a Hive, register and fix those issues, then we call it a day tomorrow. Yeah, we start, continue from where we left off. We should be basically completing this path and then adding the change password UI. This is taking quite a lot of time to actually rebuild. Because I think this is taking time. And before while this is still running, let's just play along with something. So talk with this, and let's cross check this with the design we have and see if they are both the same. So for the dark mode, so here we have it. See, okay. So the user image, this should actually be rounded where circle, but you could see that it's not actually rounded, and we need to fix that. Next one, so edit test is still not visible, so we need to fix that. And these ones are okay. Yeah, I think they're okay. Yeah, they're okay. And again, we have the change password. Yeah, that's okay. And this, yeah. So these ones are okay with me. Not just with me, but with the whole design we have. And the keyboard is also showing the color that we need. Just open this. Yeah. So the dark mode keyboard color. But this is still taking time to actually build. And once we get to this point of long build time, is actually a time to actually call it a day, guys. Call this stream off and continue next tomorrow, like I said. And we actually built, but it doesn't look like something else that we're building in this 2 minutes or 5 minutes or so. Let's try one more time. Come on. Okay, guys, definitely will be stopping here today, and tomorrow we are going to continue mainly working with Hive, being able to save something on our local database, how to sync with our local data to Firebase. So that's what we'll be dealing with tomorrow, and then completing the profile page and moving over to the next page or screen that we'll be working on. So yeah, that's all. Thank you guys for joining today. Thanks everyone. And if this is your first time joining me on the stream, feel free to subscribe, hit the subscribe button wherever you are. Also, if you're on Twitch, if you're watching on Twitch, yeah, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, do the same. And if you're watching on LinkedIn, just follow me on my LinkedIn page. Do I have a LinkedIn page? Just follow my LinkedIn profile. That's it. Yeah, see you guys tomorrow, and everyone have a nice day and an awesome weekend too. Thank you.